Okay, so before I go to bed, I want to prepare some egg muffins, and I have all the ingredients already out on the countertop. I have the oven already preheated, so you can see that, to 350 degrees. And once everything is done, I'll put it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. I'll check just to see the consistency. And this will be for my breakfast in the morning. Now, if I don't do this now, I won't be able to do it in the morning because I won't have time. Okay, let's get started. So I will go over the ingredients as I add them. And we start with a bowl for the eggs. And what I have is a dozen eggs, so I'm gonna go ahead and crack these. Now, if you're not sure about cracking eggs, just hit it up against the counter one time. And be careful that you don't get the shells in the bowl. But if you do, it's very easy just to use a fork to remove it. The last thing you want is to have shells broken in your egg dish. So just be careful as you're cracking the eggs. And if you happen to break a piece of shell, just go ahead and get it out of there right away. Use a fork or a spoon and get it out of there. All right, so if I don't use all of this egg mixture tonight, then what I'll do is I'll probably save the rest. But I've learned from experience that it's very difficult to use eggs the next day. If you break them up already, the consistency is not the same, the freshness is not there. So, all right, those are our eggs. Take a fork and just beat them up. And to this, we're gonna add some salt, pink salt, and pepper. Mix that in. Okay, so you'll see over here, I have, drop that in there. Let me get that out of there. Rinse that off. Sorry about that. But you will see that I have muffin pan. It's a 6 muffin pan. And in here, these are liners. And let me just take it out so you can take a look and see. These liners these are cupcake liners, Betty Crocker Party Pack, and they come in different colors, so it's nice colors, different variety. So when the egg muffins are done, you're gonna be able to take them out very easily for cleanup. You won't have to worry about the mess. It's just very easy to remove. So I have 6 of those in there. So this is the egg mixture. I'm just going to move this to the side for now and work on the other ingredients. All right, so we have our onion. We have some bacon bits. There's some leftover sausage that I had in the refrigerator from earlier. Some spinach. Swiss cheese. I love Swiss cheese. You can use any kind of cheese you want. And this was in the refrigerator as well. Just taco blend cheese. I'm going to go ahead and try this. But you can use any kind of cheese you want. You can use combinations of cheeses. Just have fun with it. Now let me get a knife. All right. So we're going to cut up our onion. Sorry about the noise against the cutting board. Now this is onion that was in the refrigerator as well. I try to use whatever I have that's left over so it doesn't go to waste. So go ahead and take your knife and just kind of, I'm going to switch out this cutting board because this one is making a lot of noise. So excuse me just one moment. All right. So then just take the knife, as you want to chop it up into small pieces. Don't really want big chunks of onions in the egg muffins. If you have a food processor, you can also use that, and whatever works for you. Okay, that should be good enough. Now, as you can see, I'm keeping my hands out of the way. I don't want to chop any fingers off. Be very careful. All right, so this is the onion. And what I'm going to do is just going to move that to the side and chop up the sausage. Little bite-sized pieces because they're going to go in the muffin. Little muffin tins. And I don't want this sausage flavor to take over, so just dice it up in small pieces. Now you don't have to use sausage, you can use whatever you want. I'm using what's in my refrigerator. All right, so we have sausage and we have the onions, and I have some bacon bits here and some spinach. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start dropping in the ingredients and just get an idea. So you don't wanna fill it up with ingredients. You wanna just layer the bottom with different items. Not too much. Like I said, it'll overpower. If you put too much of anything in it, it will overpower the taste. So I'm not completely covering the bottom. And if I think it's too much, I'm gonna take it out. But once we get that egg mixture in there along with the onions, you can even add garlic in there. I like little bits of garlic in there. All right, everything looks pretty even. Okay, now let's take our onion. A little bit of onion. Again, you don't wanna overpower anything. Just put a little bit of onion in each one. I like onion, but if you don't like onion, then you don't have to use onion. You can basically do whatever you want according to your taste. Okay. All right, and then with the leftover, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a little bowl. And just keep it in the refrigerator for later. I'll put it in a bowl with the top. All right. So I'm going to take a couple of these pieces of bacon bits. This was in the refrigerator as well. I'm going to pour it in my hand first and then just kind of sprinkle. Because you already got sausage in here, so just sprinkle a little bacon bits in each one. Not too much. Okay. So far we have sausage, we have onion, and we have a little bacon bits in here. I'm going to do some spinach. Now, I don't want to put the leaves in here big and hold these big leaves like that, so I'm going to cut them up a little smaller. It just makes it easier when it's time to put them in the little muffin cups. And just be careful when you're using a sharp knife. Okay. And then take it and drop some in each cup. And as you can see, these ingredients are filling up the cup, but we don't want to fill it up completely. We're going to put the egg and cheese mixture on top. And once everything is cooked in together, you're going to have a nice, delicious, flavor-packed meal on the go. All right, so we have, I'm going to move this out the way. So with the cheese, I like Swiss cheese, but not everybody's a Swiss cheese fan. I'm going to use some taco cheese and some of them, and then Swiss cheese in the others. So sprinkle some, just a little. You don't want to overdo it with any of these different flavors. I'm going to put Swiss cheese in the others. And I love Swiss cheese, so just break it up into little pieces. It's gonna all melt once it's in the oven underneath that mixture with the egg mixture and the cheese, but try to evenly distribute it amongst the remaining cups. Okay. All right, and now for the egg mixture. So this can get a little bit messy. Take a little tool and just dip. Now you don't have to dip too much because you don't want to fill the cups up completely. You want to fill them up about 3/4 to the top. So just pour it on top. Okay. And just go through each one. And what I'll do is I'll come back once it absorbs. I'll come back and make sure they're all filled up to around that 3/4 of a cup, 3/4 of a level. 3/4 way is what I'm trying to say. Okay, get the last two. All right, so as I'm looking, some of them looking a little empty. I'm gonna go ahead and go back over the ones that I did. Don't wanna fill them up too much because they're gonna rise in the oven. They're gonna rise. Okay, so that's good. So hopefully you don't get too much mixture in there, but if it will rise, just try not to overdo it. You want to leave room for that to happen. And don't worry about the cheese or anything that's sticking up. It's going to melt. Everything's going to be melt together, all ooey and gooey and delicious. A little bit more. Okay, and that last one. So I'm going to go over it with some pepper. You can make this with any kind of cheese you want, any kind of meat you want. onions, garlic, whatever you enjoy eating. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in the oven. And I already have the oven set at 350. So it's nice and hot. Set the timer. 35 minutes. So I'm gonna set it for 20 minutes just to kind of be on the safe side because I don't want to overcook them. I can always go back and put them back in the oven if they're not done. So in about 20 minutes, I'll check with a fork or a toothpick and just insert into the egg muffin just to see if if the fork comes out clean. If it does, that means it's done. It doesn't take long for these to cook at all. So I'll check back in about 20 minutes. And then I will share the results with you tomorrow. So until then, good night. And thank you for joining me on day 4 of my 60-day keto challenge. Bye-bye.